Good evening, welcome to the latest live edition of Last Bell Boxing. I better do some formalities. So, good evening, Orkan.
Good evening, Carl.
Thank you for joining. Good evening, Andrew.
Thank you.
I'm to call you Ander, but I know you go by Andrew, so I won't.
Whatever you like. We go Andrew. Andrew's good, yeah. But yeah, good to be here, Carl. Good to meet you. Good to meet you all.
And last but no least, Daz. How you going, Daz?
All right, mate.
All good, all good. So we're going to make a start with the first topic. Inoue's out again in the middle of next week. Quite strange having fight nights in the middle of fight days in the middle of the week. Now I have there's a few loaded questions in my titles this week. I've just put my thoughts down in the titles, but good matchup, poor matchup. Is there anybody out there who can give Inoue a test? Okay, give us your thoughts on this fight first.
Who's first?
Me? No, who's first? Yeah. Sam Goodman was at ringside at the Nair fight, but it ended up that he would have a tune-up before the Inoue fight. He was one of the mandatories. And then I think it was WBA ordered MJ to fight Inoue, but they turned down that fight. And then the TJ Haney fight happened, and I think it's. I'm not that impressed with the opponent for Inoue for this fight. I think Inoue knocks him out really early. The last fight Haney had was against the last good fight was against Sam Goodman, and he lost clearly on the decision. So, and the fights after that hasn't been on the highest level of opponents.
Who, if you had a magic wand, then Orkan, who would you throw Inoue in with?
Is the WBA ordered MJ? Well, that's the fight everyone wants.
Okay, watch your space then. Coming to Andrew next. So Andrew, similar question. You know, what do you expect Inoue to just steamroll this guy? Break it down for us.
Yeah, I think I mean, what is he, 30? I think he's 37 now. The only thing I can think is he hasn't been knocked out, I don't think. So he might add a little bit of durability. And I'm hoping he's going to, give Inoue some rounds. I remember seeing him against Conlon, so that was a few years ago, wasn't it? I think he's coming off a few TKO wins, I think, which will give him a bit of momentum and confidence. But Inoue is just another level above, isn't he? 4-division champion. I don't really see Haney posing him too many, if any, problems. Inoue's going to, I think he's going to get the KO.
Okay, coming to you then, Daz. So obviously, Haney got beat to Baluta. So surely, if someone's getting beat to that caliber of fight, he ain't got a prayer, has he?
Mate, you know my opinion on Inoue, mate, is I think he's best pound for pound in world at the minute. Listen, this is just basically he's been brought in Haney because he's tough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's it. So the only reason he's been brought in. The biggest threat to Inoue in this fight is complacency. And that's it. If you don't get complacent, he's just going to dispatch him. I think the only possible around that weight is Junto Nakatani. That's an interesting fight for Inoue. I think he's 28-0 with 21 KOs. Inoue's 27-0 with 24 KOs, I think.
Here's one for you, Daz. Is Inoue in danger of being being penalised for what looks like not having a great era or dance partner around him.
Well, let's be fair. I've said same thing about Crawford. So if we're going to say that about Crawford, we've got to say that maybe, about Inoue. But maybe Inoue's got chance to go up a little bit more. So he's probably got a bigger opportunity to fight them some bigger names. Whereas Crawford, I don't think Crawford should be going any higher than what he is.
No.
So yeah, could be. But listen, I'm a massive fan of Inoue. I'm a fan of Crawford, but I'm a massive fan of Inoue. I think he's got it all.
Yeah.
I think that is genuinely one fighter that could have lived in any era.
Okay, so I can see Joshua's joined us. So Joshua, thank you for joining the show. Really appreciate it, fella.
How we doing, guys? You alright?
Oh, good. I
Hello,
understand.
Big Josh. Right, son?
What's happening?
So Andrew's giving you the bigger, mate. Saying the next big thing to come off these shores, and world titles are destined.
Well, I just want to say a massive shout out to Boxing Bros, man. UK, I swear that they're going to be one of the.
Cheers, man. Cheers, man. Thank you very much.
Even getting the merchandise in there, you're killing me, Andrew.
Yeah, I already get the merchandise. I'm trying to support them down here. You know what I mean? Yeah, they're doing a really good job. Shout out to them and their podcast. I'm a huge fan of it. Watch it like practically every day.
Bless you.
Massive shout out to Andrew and Chris. They're great people. Obviously, they're from my little area I call Medway. So massive shout out and going back to
I don't know how much that costs, Joshua, but I hope you get a lot of money for that tribute. The reason why
it costs £2.50, mate. I mean,
the reason why I brought you on today is I understand you're friendly with ITAUMA.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we want to get your take on the fact how good he is at close quarters, and also the fact that he's telling Frank Warren, "Go get me Joe Parker."
So, you know what? So I was gonna start off. Obviously, I've known Rico ITAUMA. That's what I call him. I find it a bit weird calling him Moses, but glory be to God to him. I like the name Moses. But Rico, I've known Rico about this is going back probably when he was 11. So I'm the 70s. I'm 26. So I knew when I was 18, and the minute I just saw him, I just knew he was going to be a special talent. I remember sparring him down St Mary's ABC, and I can't lie, that boy gave me a whipping. He gave me a good whipping. You know what I'm saying? And I just thought, this kid at 11-year-old, Danny, the way he's moving, the way he's hitting. You know what? It's so much. It's more he's calculate punching. The way he's boxing IQ and the way he calculates his punches is extraordinary. So I've seen him achieve a lot of great things, and the boy's gonna achieve more great things, and he's gonna give me a shot one day as well. I'll tell you that now. But going to your question about Parker and the ITAUMA, I'm telling you this now, and I'm gonna be probably one of the first people to say it, but I generally don't think it's a stupid move. I generally think Rico would not just beat Parker, but I think he'd beat any top 10 heavyweight right now. The kid's a special talent. That's why a lot of people avoided him now. That's why the Solomon Dakers are avoiding him. The David Adelaides are avoiding him. You know what I'm saying? Justice Haney, all these guys, they're all avoiding it because they don't want that smoke with Rico, because they don't want to feel like they're beaten by a 19-year-old kid, should I say. But I say in boxing, age is just a number. If you're good, you're good. If you're not, you're not. You know what I mean?
Joshua,
And obviously,
what about the argument that some people are saying we're moving through the levels a bit too quick? Because once you go against a Parker and you beat them, there's no way back.
Well, this is what I'm saying. That's the other flick of the coin, right? But honestly, brother, like I just don't see no one beating this kid. I don't honestly don't. I've always said this. I remember Dan Woolidge, senior and junior said to me one time in St Mary's ABC back in 2017, 18, actually 2018. So kind of to nearly 6 to 7 years ago. I remember they come up to me and said, if Mike Tyson and Vasily Lomachenko had a baby, they would produce Enrico ITAUMA Moses. So honestly,
I like that.
I'm sorry, but I just don't see no one beating him. Honestly, that I feel like there's no negativity. I mean, you got boxing is about being realistic, right? But I've boxed for 10 years, yeah. And I'm telling you now, yeah, I know my boxing as well as you wonderful people here. I just don't see no one beating that kid. Right now, I just don't see no one beating him. And I just generally think he's gonna go up levels so fast, you'll be so surprised.
Interesting.
You're probably thinking like,
Big claims, Josh. I like it.
No, I'll be honest with you, Joshua. I don't know how good he is yet because he's not been with any opponent that I can kind of use as a measuring stick. Does that make sense?
That's because no one wants to fight him, bro. No one wants to fight Reek. You know what I mean? Because they don't want to feel humiliated. You got to realize he beat. Now you got to realize that in his last bout, people say. Now you name me one fighter, especially a heavyweight, that would take whack, yeah, in that ninth professional bout. There's no one. All right, Rico's had about, I believe, 9 professional bouts, 9 wins, 7 knockouts. Now, okay, that's number one. Number two. You name the people that've beaten him, right? Your Klitschko's, your Clarks, all them lot have beaten him, right? But they've had to go the distance or win by 7th round knockout or 8th round knockout to beat him. This boy done it in what? Inside 2 rounds? So, like, do you know what I'm saying? No one takes whack in a ninth professional bout at 19 years old. You look at the other kids, the heavyweight prospects right now in Britain, right? They're still fighting. No disrespect. I mean, every fight is amazing, and it takes big balls to get in the ring. But let's be real, they're still fighting bin men, journeymen. Reek's fighting fully fledged heavyweights that are seasoned, that have that pin up the levels. For goodness sake, what for Klitschko? Klitschko was a bloody icon. I remember growing up watching Klitschko. That's all I ever knew who to watch. What's it, Dr. Stillhammer? So
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. You just got to put respect on that. I think even before that, like I look at the guys he's fought before that, and these are guys you don't take in these sort of in your early on in your career, and he's taken them. So, and the guys that are binmen, like what I mean. Well, they're not binmen, like I said, but the guys that are easy on journeyman, he dispatches them in 1 round. So,
Joshua, just to bring Daz in. Daz is a trainer in Nottinghamshire.
Exactly, Daz.
Yeah, Graham, you all right?
So Daz, from a trainer, from the bit that you've seen, you praised him on previous shows. Do you echo what Joshua said in terms of the ability this kid's got?
Yeah, listen, I don't think you can. I don't think any person on this planet can argue about his ability. And one of my old co-trainers, he actually told me about him before he turned pro because he works at EIS. And he told me, he says, watch out for this kid, Moses ITAUMA, when he turns pro. And listen, he's done everything asked of him. Only thing I sort of disagree with Joshua on is the fact that Wack was he was just there for a payday. He had no ambition whatsoever. But, and I've said this on social media, as much as what I think when I said it, let's not get too excited. I still do think that this kid's going to be world heavyweight champion. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I really do. And I think the only thing what would beat him, in probably the next year or so, is experience. But Parker, I don't think Parker has enough to beat him because he's a very intelligent fighter. You can see that he's a very intelligent fighter. For 19-year-old, he's wise beyond his years.
Yeah.
In that ring, you can see that. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So, listen, I'll champion the guy. I like him. I'm a big fan, but I don't want him I don't want him matched crazy. If you know what I mean. At this time, just let him, let him develop. Let him get there. And I'm not a fan of this chasing the Mike Tyson record either. You know what I mean? Even though it could probably be done. I'd just rather him develop as he's developing, which is pretty quick, to be fair. And I'd be
I'll be
happy with
realistic.
that.
I agree with you that one. I agree with that one. I don't. When it comes to Mike Tyson record, I feel like it's gonna be hard for him to chase it. It wouldn't surprise me if he did it, but I'm telling you now, bro. Like the whack. Going back to what you said about the whack fight, and I respect what you've said. It's an amazing comment what you said, but you got to understand this whack fought Clark, right? And the same way he fought the same way Wack fought Clark is the same way he fought Rico. And look what Rico did to Wack, and then look what he done to Clark. So listen, he was there for a payday.
You're confusing me with Rico, bit. I'm gonna have to
Moses. Sorry, Moses.
I'm like, who's Rico? I'm punch drunk myself, so you have to bear with me.
Moses. So sorry, I've known him for
Yeah,
years.
no,
I
it's
grew
all
up with this
right.
kid. I grew up with this boy. I want to know just call him Moses.
Joshua, we know you're
Rico.
pressed for time, so I'm going to ask you one more question then. Here we go. One to see you out on. How long before he's world champion?
Rico?
Oh.
If you had to put your last pound on it, how long?
Juicy.
He'll be world champion not next year, year after.
Next,
world champion.
I would say before you go, I would say within his next 4 fights. He's probably his 4th fight.
You got to realise, obviously, he could be world champion. But let's see if if the Usyks and the Furies and Joshua's are still around, it's going to be hard for him because of politics. But if that's not going to be the case, then yeah, I agree with you. Then I generally think the boy, the kid, is going to be.
Do you know I can see a collision course with Daniel Dubois somewhere down the line?
He smashes Daniel Dubois.
Before you go, Josh, are you a fighter yourself?
Yeah, I'm a fighter myself. Yeah.
Yeah, you pro?
I'm pro. Yeah, I've just turned over.
Have you had any yet, or are you waiting for your debut?
Just waiting for my debut to come out first. But I was a good amateur. I had 48. I have over 30 bouts in amateur. I boxed for England. 2-time national champion.
I'll just keep eye out for you because I'm always up and down country. You see when we fight. So
my Instagram is Joshua Antonio.
I'm not saying I'm getting you a follow yet.
You will come here to me. I'm telling you, I want to watch out for
that on this channel, Joshua. You have to
have you got penciled in debut wise?
Nothing penciled yet, mate. We're still ticking over. We're just waiting for that.
Who's your trainer?
I train in Kent, so I train with Invicta. Sam
Victor
Lanston.
Smith. Victor Smith.
No, I'm in a gym called Invicta.
Oh, Invicta. You know Joe Elfid?
Yeah, I know Joe Elfid. Yeah.
Joe manages my fighter.
Okay, fair enough.
I know Joe. Yeah, I grew up with Joe pretty much.
Anyway, this has all been lovely. Like before I get the red book out for This Is Your Life, but I'm sure Josh has got better things than to sit on this channel tonight. Josh, if you want, anytime you're welcome.
See you soon, Josh.
You're welcome to come on a proper channel, Josh, called Last Bell Boxing. Not this boxing bro malarkey. Jump on a proper channel.
Boxing bros are the ones, bro.
Love it. Love it, the banter.
I'll edit that out, Josh. Oh. Hey, that'll be edited out.
This is gonna be. You know what? I'll get you two sparring in a minute. Do you know what I mean?
All jokes aside, appreciate you joining us, fella. Okay.
Anyway, God bless you guys, man. Thank you very much.
Cheers for your time, Josh. Speak soon.
What a lovely kid.
Bless it. Yeah, he's determined. Good lad.
Yeah. So let's bring a substitute in. So welcome, Jack.
Hiya.
So
hi, Jack.
Give us your thoughts on ITAUMA.
Well, first of all, I'm glad I don't have to match him because he seems like an absolute nightmare to do that.
Well, I don't know when your name was Orkan, but if you want to jump in, jump in.
To be fair, you broke up on my screen, so.
Go on then, Jack.
I mean, I kind of agree with what both of them were saying. With Parker's a big jump up. I'm kind of more with Daz on the whack thing, by the way.
It's Ben, isn't it?
He's not the fighter that fought Klitschko. People need to think. One thing I would say though is he's not that much younger than Hughie Fury was when he fought Parker, and Hughie Fury gave Parker a hard night. So what's to say? And I think ITAUMA's way better than Hughie was at that point, because I'm still not convinced on Hughie Fury.
Listen, don't rule out that fight happening at some point.
Oh yeah, I'd watch that.
No,
Yeah.
Go for ITAUMA step up.
Yeah,
Rather than it be Parker next, Hughie Fury next.
that would make a lot
It's a
of
good
sense.
shout.
Peter Fury does not mess
It's a good
around.
shout.
He'll throw Hughie in, won't he? No bother.
Listen, Parker might on paper, and listen, Ben Davison might say Parker might just be a little bit,
Parker's a big jump, isn't he?
a little bit too much of a risk at minute.
Yeah.
Let's test water. Let's go up, fair, a little bit, and maybe a Hughie Fury via ITAUMA would be next.
That would be a logical thing. I think that would actually be almost a better sort of step before you fight Parker. If he can beat Hughie Fury, I think then a Parker fight makes more sense.
Hughie Fury definitely asks him questions, don't he? And he'll get rounds as well.
He asks him questions he hasn't been asked exactly.
Well, we think so, but
we assume so. But
the thing is, that's the thing. You see, he's going to get asked. Obviously, logical terms. Parker will ask him more questions than Hughie Fury.
Yeah.
So let's just let him, go gradually. It doesn't need to be rushed because it can ruin a career.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see him ruined.
He's still under 19, isn't he?
Yeah. So why rush him?
Let's be honest. We don't kind of know how good Hughie Fury is during this comeback, do we? At the minute, we don't know where he belongs in levels.
No, I mean Hughie's next opponents. I don't know how much you guys know about him, but he's actually a bit of a step up from what he's fought since he came back.
Jack, you would be a step up from what he's fought since he come back.
I mean, that's not wrong, actually. Yeah, that's. But.
So I'm just going to take a couple of comments on the side. So that guy, good evening, that guy says, exactly, let him develop. Not all journeymen are bin men. Some can move about and give you 10 rounds, even if you have some skills and power. He goes on to say, ITAUMA versus Fury is nice. Hughie is in Captain Power, but he's durable.
Yeah. See, I know what I'm on about. I know my stuff sometimes.
Yeah, tell your brother he can stop posting now, though, Daz. You don't need a backup all night.
Five for a comment.
So, Orkan, are you there, or are you just striking a pose?
I'm here.
Okay, so what are your thoughts on Moses?
Is he froze? Oh, he is there.
First, has it been confirmed that Dakers has turned down the ordered fight for the English title?
I don't know, but Dakers don't want any of him, does they?
No, but that fight was ordered for the English title.
Say again, Jack.
It was ordered by the board. I think that's what Harkan's saying. They ordered it about 2 months ago, but whether or not it actually happens, I don't think they have to decide until the end of next month, Harkan.
Well, Warren's not even talking about that fight at the minute for him, is there? So I'd suggest not.
Yeah, I suggest one of them's going to pull out.
For me, I think the winner of the rematch, Wardley Clark, would be a good step up for ITAUMA.
Yeah,
for the British.
Not a bad shout.
Yeah, whether you'd get one of them in the ring with him, because, Wardley or the loser, I agree. I think the loser might jump in, but I'm not sure what you do with this kid, because no heavyweights going to be rushing into fighting him unless there's a bucket load of money involved, are there? So
high risk, low reward, isn't it? High risk, low reward problem going on.
Yeah.
Go on, Daz.
Oh, sorry. Thing is with him as well is as good. Listen, I'll put my trainer head on here. As good as he looks, and as good as what he's been doing, and you know, a lot of people who have told me how good he is and what they've seen and stuff. He's not been it back yet.
Yeah. What's your chin like?
Yeah, he's not been it. He's not had some. Listen, I know Josh. You know, Josh is his pal, and I get where Josh is coming from with him. And I don't disagree with Josh that he can end up where Josh thinks he'll end up at the top. I think he will, but I think he's got to take a little bit of a more steadier route than facing, your U6 and Kona. Do you know what I mean?
But who are those fighters, Daz? Who are those fighters where he's going to get rounds and get you know?
Well, listen, he's got to fight you Inoue Furies, hasn't it? And your Fraser Clarks. Listen, I mean, I think Clark could be an harder fight for him than Wardley.
I think Clark's going to beat Wardley.
Yeah, but Wardley carries a bit more power, I think, than Clark. So, but he's obviously more wide open.
What about a Dillian White, Daz?
Again, how much does Dillian want to be in the game? I mean, someone mentioned to me earlier about Chisora, and I'm like, hey, do you not like Chisora or something? Do you not think Chisora deserves a bit more respect than to get put in with a young lion? And
the reason why I'm saying Dillian White is so ITAUMA can learn, let's say, the dark arts as well.
But it's a tricky one, mate, because he's going to be. Listen, my opinion on heavyweight boxing at the minute. I think it's an absolutely awful era. So, but where he is now, he's listen. I think your Wardleys, your Clarks, your Inoue Fury, maybe they're what he should be looking at next. And then if he comes through, listen, there's no reason why if he fought Inoue Fury and came through Inoue, he couldn't then fight Clark or Wardley, and then go on again to, someone like a Dillian White. But I think what it'd be better for him is to fight such as a Inoue Fury, then maybe a Fraser Clark, and then probably someone fringe who's in the top 10.
Caballero, someone like that.
Yeah,
I was thinking Ajit Caballero. Yeah, Justice Haney. I know he was on his hit list, wasn't he?
Yeah. Good shot. I mean, why not? Like I said, Fury first, then Clark.
I do agree with plotting his career though, because once he's up at world or fringe world level, there's no coming back, is there?
No.
Now he's back at sort of European level. Tony Yoka.
Yoka.
Yeah.
It would Steve.
Although, to be honest, Yoka's not.
What a downfall Yoka's career's been, isn't it? Since
I know.
His pro career's been a disaster, isn't it?
I mean, I did his last fight, and it weren't. He basically literally.
He was fighting at a leisure centre, wasn't he? He was fighting in a leisure centre somewhere. Like, what is going on?
It would be an arena, wouldn't it? Because Jacksonville.
Well, did he fight at Tolworth?
Yeah, that phone call was so random.
Yeah, the one I travelled 5.5 hours to.
Yes, I'm aware.
Yeah, that one.
Was it a shambles, Daz?
Yeah, no comment on live.
No comment. Yeah.
So Andrew, I'll let you finish the segment off then and give your thoughts on your local boy.
Yeah.
What do you think happens in the next 12 months in Moses' career?
Yeah, I mean, there's been some good discussions there, and I think I sort of come in between. I mean, obviously, I live with Josh, and we sort of discuss it all the time, and he's sparred with him. Obviously, I'm not going to sort of talk anything about that. And Ajit Caballero, I don't know, maybe someone like Frank Sanchez, F.A. Jagba, that sort of top 15. The thing I worry about, I think, with the Parker fight, I mean, Parker's taken AJ all the way. He's, got put down twice by Zhang, who's a heavy hitter. We know how heavy-handed he is and come through the fight. Would he try and sort of old man Moses a bit? He's not as quick as Moses. The problem I have with it is Parker is wily enough and experienced enough there, durable enough, that he could. Look, I believe in Moses, I believe the hype, but we know in heavyweight boxing, Parker could grind out a win there. He's capable. And then, like you kind of said, Carl.
Moses would have to go looking for him as well, wouldn't he?
Yeah, and try and punch with him, and because he's that little bit quicker. But like I think Darren said, made a good point. We haven't had a chin check yet and a gut check. And I'd quite like to see someone give him a chin and gut check and then see, okay, right, has he got the minerals? And if he can get through that, look, if he beats Parker, then I think he's hell bent for that world title.
I'll tell you what.
The division's on notice, aren't they?
Well, I'll tell you what. I was just going to say as well. I'm going to pay him the ultimate compliment here. If Moses ITAUMA gets in with an hungry fighter like himself and a puncher, gets it flush on the chin and smiles, or gets it flush on the chin, put on his arse, but gets up and he's not hurt, that heavyweight division could be in a lot of trouble.
There'll be people looking at it going, right, we're in trouble though. And a lot of the top guys will suddenly find that they only have 1 or 2 fights left in them.
Fury's already said that, anti-Tyson Fury. He don't want any of him.
They'll retire.
He wants
They'll retire, won't they?
Do you know what? And I can't even fault Fury for that. He's in his sort of mid to late 30s. Why does he want a young lion who could potentially just?
I mean, you've got to think though. It's a bit like the careers aren't really going to cross paths anyway, are they? Because
no, they're not.
He's got Usyk next. I mean, if Fury beats Usyk, they're going to do it again, and then it's going to be whoever wins that, which they'd probably hope would be Fury and fight Joshua. So by the time all that's panned out, then
I think they're all done after that.
That's probably it for them.
Yeah.
So,
and I think Josh was the same. I think he probably fights Dubois, maybe one in the middle if this trilogy thing with Fury and Usyk happens, and then after that, I think he's probably done. If the Fury
and AJ will probably have 2 fights, right?
There'll be a rematch clause, won't there?
Yeah, possibly.
Okay, I'm going to move on. So I've just realised my titles are brutal this week, aren't they?
Oh, Cole!
What have you got?
Get out of bed on the wrong side.
I don't know. You know, when I look back, I think someone must have upset me a bit.
Please tell me one of his management is watching this, because that would be really funny.
Yeah, so Diego Pacheco's out this weekend against Zaleska, that legend that is Zaleska. I'll come to Andrew first. So
I'm just going to let my dog out.
Yeah, I am going to go there, Andrew. Do we care? Do we care? I'll leave it with you.
Oh, I don't know if the casuals or the kind of would care too much. I mean, look, Pacheco. I mean, he's massive for his weight, isn't he? 6'4". What has he got? Like 9 on 8-inch reach. I saw him. I was watching him. I think it was yesterday against. Who was I watching him against? Was it Cullen? I think it was Cullen. He fought, didn't he, a few years back?
He did fight him. Yeah, he's got no real resume apart from that, has it? Or haven't been brutal again?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's talking about the next 5 years. He wants to unify and then be undisputed. But yeah, he's got to talk like that, isn't he? And I think he wants, was it Balanga and then Billy next or someone like that? I think, ultimately, and answer your question, I think we just need to see a bit more, don't we? We need to see a bit more. I think he got taken the distance in his last fight, didn't he? Didn't he get taken the distance in his last time out? I think
he did. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, this other guy is no great shot. Again, I don't think Selecki's been knocked out, so I suppose it's another one where he can get that feather in his cap if he can do the job. He hits hard.
he's lost whenever he's stepped up, though, hasn't he? Let's be honest. Andre, Jacobs, you know.
Yeah, but he's been distanced with him and with both of them.
Yeah, a few years ago,
So
yeah.
so they're looking at, well, he's not been stopped. Pacheco stops him.
I mean, Dad.
Did he not fight Danny Jacobs as well?
Yeah, he went distant. He lost to Danny Jacobs in Andrade on points.
Yeah, bringing you in for a minute, Dad. You know how you bang on about 90s heavyweight division with your rose tinted glasses on? Well, I'm a bit similar with the super middleweight division. I think the super middleweight division.
Mate, difference is though, right? I agree with you on this super middleweight stuff. But my rose tinted glasses are not rose tinted, mate, because not one heavyweight in this era would have lived with near them in 90s.
Anyway, let's get back to super middleweight. It's a poor division compared to when the Frocks and Kesslers.
Oh yeah, it is.
And even the Calzaghe, Jones before that. Yes, I agree.
Collins, all those. Watson. Yeah, I know. I agree with you.
What was a marquee division, right? His Pete was a marquee division. Yeah. I look through this super middleweight class now and think, wow, what would have Frotch, Calzaghe, Kessler done to this era? What would they have done?
There's a problem got beating everybody up.
Right, to be honest.
So do you care about his fight then, Daz? Any interest in it?
Listen, I like Pacheco. But like Andy says, we've got to see more. I want to see more. I want to see him tested more. This fight is basically, to me, when I saw it, I just thought this is just to try and score brownie points to say, oh, I'm the first person to stop this kid. And fights like that. Listen, we can go back to that Moses ITAUMA thing. I can tell you for a fact that the matchmaker and the management of Moses ITAUMA knew that Wack was in that state he was in.
Oh, yeah.
Washed.
And thought this looks great if he gets him out of there. Yeah. Listen, it happens all the time, and it's no slight on him, but I think we now need to see Pacheco a little bit. Go on then, let's see what you've got.
I've done it. I can't. You do it though. Name value, don't they? That's what they do.
Who would you start throwing in with? A Caleb Plant, someone like that next?
What? Who would I put Pacheco in with?
Yeah. Not much around, is there? 168.
There's really not. Like you were saying, it's thin on the ground, and you're right. Honestly, I think Caleb Plant's probably a good one. I'm trying to think who else would.
Pacheco v. Callum Simpson.
I mean, I'd do that, but I don't think they
would. Go on, Cal.
Out of all of them in Britain, though, I'd probably put him in with Mark Jeffers over Simpson. And that's going to sound really weird.
Jeffers is better than Simpson.
No, I don't. It's not. It's not that I think he's better. I think it's actually a fairly even fight. But I just think stylistically, if I was trying to get Pacheco to look good, I think he'd look better against Jeffers.
No, Jack. We don't want Pacheco looking good against our boy.
If you want to put
no.
What I would say though, I thought Simpson did well in Barnsley, but again, obviously he's not the finished article, but he shipped a few shots. He took a few.
Yeah. Also, Jack Kelly, no one looks good against.
Awkward fucker, isn't he, Chelly? Awkward fucker.
He's not good to watch, but he's effective.
So, can I bring you in lastly before we move on from this high-profile fighter? Are you going to be watching the fights at the weekend? I know you do a lot of transatlantic fights. You stay up till after o'clock in the morning like we all do. Is this something that gets the juices going?
Yeah, maybe not this particular matchup, but the card. I like the card. The Chev Clark fight and Sugar Nunez fight is just a stay busy fight. But
Quite an interesting decision, isn't it, to take Chev Clark out to the stage for a fight? I thought it was quite interesting.
Yeah.
Strange one.
Say again, Jack.
It's a strange
But the Pacheco fight, I think that his opponent is not on Pacheco's level, the Polish guy. So I think Pacheco stops him round 7, round 8. But a fight I would like to have is Pacheco-Saggio.
Fighting Kevin Saggio.
Yes.
That's not a bad idea, although I don't know how easy that would be to make, because I don't think Saggio likes going outside of France.
No.
Yeah, but I think this might be a too risky fight for Pacheco too.
Who would you throw in with then, Jack? I ask you again, who would you throw in with?
I mean, I would go with the lad who beat Mark Heffron recently. French lad stopped him in a round.
In Canada, the French-Canadian kid, is it?
French-Canadian guy. Mbili, or however you pronounce it?
Mbili.
Mbili.
Who fought just a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. I would do that. If Pacheco's really the real deal, then that's the level of fighter he's got to start fighting. Although I do think he's ranked quite high, so I don't know how easy that would be to make. I don't know if Pacheco's ranked anywhere, is he?
But with the lack of talent in the weight division, you're gonna have to make them sort of fights to earn any decent dough, really, Jack.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, if you said to me, like, if I was in the position where I was trying to do it as his management or a matchmaker, that's the fight I'd be trying to make. But it's whether or not, I don't know how willing Pacheco's team would be to take a fight like that, because I'm not sure they'd win.
I mean, you know, if I'll just throw this one out there. I'm going to get hammered for this, but here we go. You know, if I was Chris Eubank Jr., I won't be messing around at middleweight. I'd jump in that super middleweight division because I think it's shallow in terms of top talent.
I mean, you're right.
He wants the world-beating Sheremetha, mate. He wants Sheremetha, who fought Omir Rodriguez, who's had about 100 fights and 90 losses. That's what...
I just think there's some big fights. I mean, I know he's talking about fighting Ben Whittaker at catchweight. That's the latest one that's come out, isn't it?
Well, that's just random. Like, I don't even understand what the point in that fight is.
It's just to get column injured from both, isn't it? Let's be honest. Yeah. But I look at him being with boxing now, and I'm thinking, why not jump in the super middleweight division and have a go and get a world title in that weight class?
I'll be honest, yeah. That would make a lot of sense. I mean, if Eubank jumped in with Pacheco, I wouldn't be against it. I mean, I don't know what it gains Eubank.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on, guys. Last topic of the night. So there's a rumor that Liam Paro is going to beat Kevin Haney in Australia, I believe, in December. Looking through Liam Paro's resume, Kevin Haney is different grade than different grade with anything he's been in with. So I'll come to Daz first. Daz, if these two was to meet, I'm going to go there. Has Paro got a chance?
Listen, everybody who's got an heartbeat.
You know what I mean by that, though. You know.
Listen, like you say, he's fought no one anywhere near the level of Haney, and I don't think he's fought anyone near level who Haney's fought either. I mean, I think Paro's had 25 fights.
Yeah, he has.
Is he 25-0 and is he 20 knockouts or something? Something like that?
I know he's 25 and I've not got the knockouts.
20.
Yeah. I think he's 20 KO.
15 knockouts, I think.
Right.
Is it 15? I think it is, something like that. Yeah, I think so, yeah.
I mean, it's fought Montana love anti and people like that.
Yeah, I mean,
Montana loves one
Subriel Matthias, though. Subriel Matthias, but I know maybe Matthias is not what we thought he was. You know.
Listen, it's one of them, innit? If you're gonna be one of the best fighters in the world, you've got to beat the best fighters in the world, and you've got to start somewhere. Literally, every fighter like Haney, when Haney was coming up, you know, and you take that step, you take that leap into elite level. Let's see. You know, obviously the smart money says that Haney will be just know too much at this point in time, you know. But listen, there's some factors as well there that if you know Paro can punch a bit, you know, Haney's been put on his arse twice in his last fight. Listen, I know the circumstances around it, but it still happened. It's still maybe I've got a little bit of a psychological effect, or it may not have.
I rate Haney though, Daz. You know I rate him.
I do. Listen, I said before the Garcia thing and way before that, I think he's the best at that weight. But I'm not sure what, you know. Listen, I've seen little things that I don't think he's quite as far ahead of everyone else as possibly we thought he were. Do you know what I mean? To me, he's still the best, but I'm not quite sure he's as far in front as our first thought. But I think Paro you know, he should know far too much.
Yeah. Okay, coming to you, Orkan. What are your thoughts on this fight?
I think it's a good fight, and I think that they will have a sponsored Riyadh season event, and they want to have a really big fight to headline in Australia on December 7th. So I think it's a good fight, but I still believe Haney will win on points. But Liam Paro was very impressive when he was out in Puerto Rico and won the title against Subriel Matthias. So I think it's a good fight.
Andrew, coming to you. Give us your thoughts.
Yeah, I think, you know, he was in Cambossis's backyard. He's been out there in Australia, and I like Paro actually. I thought Matthias didn't do nearly enough in that fight. He looked a little bit flat to me. But I think riffing off of what Daz said something at the end, and I always kind of look at the psychological element, and we know that fight was null and void against Garcia, but I think a lot of it pins how is Haney left after those potential psychological demons after Garcia. We all know fighters, once they've been knocked out, once they've suffered, because it's the optics of it, you know, just seeing it as well. If he's anything like he was before, Haney should have too much. But
let me counter that. If I was
go for it.
If I was Devin Haney, it gives me almost an excuse the fact that he'd been what's happened with Garcia. So I'd almost convince myself, it only happened because it was X, Y, and Z. So it may all give him a get out of jail card, for want of a better expression. He could go down that. I still think he's got hell of a lot.
I think it depends on the team around him, doesn't it? If the team around him, he's got a good team around him, and I hope he's got a good team around him and support network. That's the sort of thing they've got to get into his head. You know, obviously, I don't know the guy personally. He's not the.
Has he dropped out?
Yeah, I think he's froze.
Have we paused him?
No. I'll tell you what it does do though. Well, just before Andy comes back, you know, I get what you're saying, Carl, but it also whets the appetite of such as Tank.
Yes,
to see that
it shows that he's not indestructible, don't it?
Oh,
he's back. I was just saying, Andy, before you finish your point, that what Carl said is true, but also. It also has the effect that Tank would have looked at that and thought, yes. Do you know what I mean? That whets Tank's appetite for that fight as well, I think, knowing if Tank lands, could be the same.
I didn't think Garcia was that big of a puncher until that fight, weirdly.
I don't think he is. I think he's just very fast.
Yeah, he is very fast.
Speed kills. Speed is power.
He punches in clusters, don't he?
I mean, I'm lucky enough to have watched him live, and when I saw him live, I was thinking, Jesus, you're fast. Like that. This was early on. He was only about 13, 14-0 when I saw him.
Yeah,
he
quick.
Undercarded Canelo. It was just
So just a comment in the side, that guy again. It is close, and in Oz, anything could happen. I'd take Haney, but he's coming back from a bit of a beating, irrelevant of that dipstick that gave him the beating. Be interesting. Any other comments on this topic before I bring the show to an end? Andy, I'm conscious that you dropped out. So anything you want to finish on your point?
No, I can't remember what was saying. I think you were saying about, I think I was just saying it depends what kind of, if Haney's got a good support network around him and he can kind of recover from that mentally and can get in there and do the business. He's been in there with Loma, he's been in there with everyone, isn't he? So look, he should have all the experience. But, I've been watching a lot of this Paro. He got a great double jab. He's a wily little fighter, carries power in both hands. I'm just going to put this out there. Don't be surprised if he does manage to get the job done. I wouldn't be surprised. Bit contentious, but I'll leave you with that.
Paro gets the job done.
Yeah, I've just got a sneaky suspicion. I don't know what it is. I can't even really vouch it, but I've just got a feeling Paro might pull off a bit of an upset.
Well, I'm happy to have a coffee with you on that one because I think Haney would absolutely outclass him.
I think this is too
early. Maybe.
Say again, Jack.
I think this is a little bit too early for Paro, personally, but
Yeah. So the Outlaw Pugilist Reloaded, great name. Garcia has 20 KOs. What do you mean the boy can crack?
Yeah, I mean, he might have 20 KOs. I just don't think. What I meant was, I don't think he's a one-punch knockout artist.
No.
I think
Who was that? Sorry, you said
a guy in the chat. The Outlaw Pugilist Reloaded.
What did he say?
So he said Garcia has 20 KOs.
Oh, right, yeah.
What do you mean?
In response to what I said about, I didn't think
I'd like to know how many of them are one-punch knockouts, though, because that's what Jack was referring to.
Yeah.
He's fast. He's very quick.
Yeah.
Very, very, very quick. And, he can put a lot of people in trouble with speed. Hit them with a shot that they don't see. They're in trouble.
Yeah.
And he's quite a good finisher, isn't he, Daz? When he gets, he's quite a good finisher.
Yeah, he is, mate, because, listen, in this day and age as well, a lot of refs, he'll throw a lot of punches very fast, and a ref will obviously got air outside of caution, aren't there? So
the Outlaws come back and said, "Okay, point taken. Listen, Outlaw, all views are welcome on this channel.
Yeah,
we just like to challenge."
He's even quicker on the juice, boys, isn't he? Obviously, he's even quicker on that juice.
Allegedly, Andy. Allegedly. Let's get that word in quickly.
Hello. Sorry. Yeah, I'm a bit outspoken sometimes.
I think we can get away with not saying that, considering he actually popped for it.
Well, you go do it on your channel then, Jack.
I'm glad I saw your. Do you know what, lads?
Point taken.
I'm not just saying it, right? And I don't know if you lads agree with me, but I'm glad I've just seen Jack's right hand, because I thought I'd have to call RSPCA then, because I had no idea what he were doing to his dog.
I think that's a whole other show. So on that note, I'm going to bring it to an end.
Yeah.
So, Dan, very much appreciated. Jack, phone call to RSP, share a thing late after I finish this, but thanks for joining.
Yeah.
Orkan, appreciate you joining us, fella. Thank you very much. Andrew, pleasure as always.
Thank you. Cheers. Thanks, guys.
We're now rolling towards AJ versus Danny Dubois fight week in a couple of weeks.
Can't wait.
I think what we may do, not next week, but the week after, is do an entire show on that card and give our predictions. That everyone in the chat, thank you for joining. Same time next week, 7 p.m. Thank you to our sponsors, LW Lifting Limited and SC Travel. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Agree, disagree. Think Jack's talking crap like I do every week. Post your comments below and we'll pick the comments up. Have a good one.
Cheers, guys. See you later.